So now we developed the methods for the to-do item. As you see here, initialize a new to-do item. You're just passing the ID and the description and just returning the item which created, and default value for the is completed is false, means each new to-do item by default is not completed. And this is the functionality or the method for setting a completed item. You just call it from initiated to-do item, and you just pass it as mutable because you will do a change in the to-do item which this function called from, and just change the is complete to true, and return true means the operation is done. And the print functionality, just to print to-do item, how is printed. This can be changed later. It's just like a method to help us just figure out what's happening and how to do item added, what the list, and like that stuff. Actually, it's just simply a print statement, but have some customization, like here, for example, in the first item, take the ID, and in the second, take the status, and in the third, take the description. So we just saying, hey, for the ID, just take 2 spaces. For the status, just take 4 spaces. For the description, take 10 spaces or more. Because if the description is more, it will take and expand. And the status, it's just checking the is completed. If it's true, that means the task is done, or the to-do is done. Just print, consider the value to done, and if it's not, it's just not, so it will be printed here. Okay, that's for the to-do item. For the to-do collection, we have also many methods, as mentioned here: add to do, remove to do, mark to do as completed, print all, and print all completed. So those are the methods for the to do collection. So you will initialize a new to do collection, and you will add to do, remove to do, mark to do as completed, and like that stuff. Okay. For the new, it's like just a function to initialize a new empty to do collection, this functionality. And for add to do, we just passing the description and mutable for the instance, the to do collection instance, and you just pushing the new to do. But before that, you initialize a new to do item, throw the to do new. That's the way, for your info, that's the way you are calling like a function in to do item. It doesn't need the self like this. So you don't have to initialize a to do item to call it. That's the new. But the set completed, you have to initialize. You have to have a to do item and then call, hey, this to do item dot set completed, as we will see. So to do, just you will call it as we did here, the general name of the struct, colon, you will just calling the functionalities which doesn't need an instance like this, and you're just passing the ID, and we just setting the ID as like the length of the list +1, like that, just to be automated, and description, and adding to the list, because self is the to-do collection. In the first item in the to-do collection is the list of to-do item, and just pushing one, append an element to the back of a collection, and return the new item which we created. That's the add to do. For the remove to do, it just take the ID and use this functionality. What it's doing simply, it just avoid return a list without the item which have this ID. That's simple. So just doing the remove by this process, and return true means yes, operation is done. This is to be corrected later if you would like to make it advanced, because if the element is not available, it return error, and there's a lot of complex stuff, but here we just make it simple. And also this functionality mark to do as completed, it take the to do collection and you just passing the ID. So it just find in the collection. What's happening here is that you take the collection, which is a list of to do item, and you just iterate. Iterate means iterator over each item, but we do mutable because we will edit. We will not just do an iterator to read. It's iterator to modify and edit the iterator, the item. Okay, and just now we have iterator. Iterator have functionalities. One of them is the find, and we just say search for an element of an iterator that satisfies a predicate. So you just say, hey, just find for item equal this ID, which we passed. If it founds, if the collection contains this item which have to do item which have this ID, that means it will return some because we have match now. Some or none. None will return false, means we didn't set any to do as completed because we don't found. But if we found, get the item and just call set completed. And you can notice here this set completed for the to do item only called from a to do item which is initiated. It have a value like this. Okay, and return true means the operation is done. Now we have the print all and the print all completed. It's just a way to printing to do list or to do list which is completed. It's the same, but just little difference. Printing with a specific format, printing with a specific format. But here we just say, hey, iterate over each item in the list of to do items. And for each one, just print it alone. You get it? This is the print for the to do item. We just call it. So that means for each item, get the print for each to do item inside this decoration. And the same concept here. But what we are doing here is that we iterate, but before print, for each one print, we just filter to make sure that we just filter the item is completed, which means we just filter the completed items, have true value for item is completed, and just return it. So those are the functionalities. Now we need to call those functionalities inside the process for this match statement, which is the core flow or the core process for the system. Okay. Here we said mark to do item as completed, which means if it's passing plus, let's return to the figure. If it's plus, that means new task, create new to do. If it's plus ID, that means we will set it as completed. So let's say the following. As we mentioned that this way and this way doing the same process, it just convert to a number, and if it's okay, do the following. And also it's doing the same, but what's happening here is that it do one extra process, the trim, and it return the value directly to process. And this is better. This is the rusty way. This is not, I can say this is not the rusty way as of my knowledge. But anyways, let's learn the two ways. Here, I'm just saying if statement. First of all, we need to initialize a new collection for the whole application. Let's just close this to make it clear, cleaner view. Okay, so let's initializing a to-do collection for the whole application. To-do item, to-do collection new. This is initializing new to-do collection, which is empty, and we add two samples, just two samples. Add to-do, learn Rust, learn Python, like that stuff. Okay, and after that we have this to-do collection, which we will deal with it inside the whole process. Okay, and now we are going to just in the conversion process. So what we are saying here, please, in case like we passing the value of, this is the value of ID, which is already provided here simply by this way. Okay, So this value will be passed to a function called mark to do as completed. You're passing the ID. Okay, and the at mute self, it's this to do collection. So simply you are saying, if I just passing this item, this number, this ID, it must be a number because we already asked, is it a number? Yes, it's okay, it's number. So that means this value contains a number. And we do unwrap just to get it out because it's a result. We would like to get the value of it. So by unwrap, we just get the value. And if there is error happen for this unwrap, it will be returned through this, as we faced this problem before. What we are doing here, we just say, hey, if inside this collection, mark to do as a completed with this ID, and this to mark to do as a completed, if we go there, you will find it return a Boolean value. If it's true, that means yes, we did set it as completed. So yes, it's completed. If it's completed, just print statement done, mark to do item number ID as completed. Okay, that's in case it's a number. But in case it's a statement, we need to call add new to do item. Add new to do item. So in this way, now we're initializing new to do collection. Add to do, just passing the statement to string. And it will return the add to do, returning to do item which is created in the collection, and just print it to the user so he can understand that this object created, this new to do item created. Okay, now this is the second way, different from this way. You can see here there is two if statements, but here we have only one if statement for something called if let. If let, and just take the value of okay, take the ID and just remove it, passing to the remove, and remove return Boolean said yes, it's done. Now we have the remove. In case it's not a number, that means there is something wrong, and just printing this error. In case we would like to, the user just ask the action is A, which means view all to-do operations, so, or to-do list. So in this case, you need to call the function, which is to-do collection print all. It's just printing all the elements as we mentioned. And for D means print the done to-do list or the done tasks. So you're just calling the print all completed. By this way, let's test the system and make sure it's working fine. A, it contains already to-do list. Okay, D, completed, yes. Okay, so let's creating a new item. We can say, for example, new to do Rust course prep. We have one. Let's say we done the learn Python number 2. So we have, it's done. Let's say we would like to remove the first one. So let's -1. It's removed. And this is the done. And this is the capital done. This is the capital A, all the list. And get the help again. And if it's empty, unknown command. So I think there is error here. Let's fix it, which is the unknown command. Let's have something wrong. It's just printing new line, which is not logic. So it should work fine. Let's run this also from, and let's say, okay, anyways, the functionality is good. The format and this kind of stuff is not a priority, but we have an idea already how to handle this. And also we can get the help and we can quit from the application. So it's working fine. Now we did it. Now we finished the Milestone project. We learned how to design it, how to follow the design, how to like starting to do some application or tools from the idea to the code, and to do some testing, simple testing as end user, not unit testing and like that stuff. We will get back to this in the module which have the testing and unit tests and integration tests and that kind of information and stuff.